Hey everybody, welcome back. Dave's Garage 249. How's everybody doing today? We're getting closing in on holiday, so we'll call this a little bit of a Christmas show, Christmas issue. And let's go to the kitchen because that's what's happening today. It's all about Christmas cookies today. We'll work on the car too. We're not gonna show you what's been going on with the car, but here's some sugar cookies coming out right now. That oh yeah, maybe another minute on those. I'm doing some decorating, and I've already made a couple cookies here. Check these out. These have fruity pebbles on them. Huh. Awesome. They taste awesome. And who'd have thought? Fruity pebbles. I just use these simple cake or cookie mixes, and I'm gonna do some peanut butter cookies with Reese's peanut butter cups melted on them. Oh God, is that gonna be good? And these got some kisses and doing some sprinkles, and I'm just gonna batch up some cookies and give them out as gifts and treats, and take some to family get-togethers. Aha, check those out. Hey, let's just talk about making cookies. Some of you may know nothing about baking cookies. Some of you may know way more than I do, but a few things that I found is I set the stove at the oven at 350, and I usually start that, and I don't put anything in for a good 15 or 20 minutes after it's come to temperature, and let everything heat soak, so the whole inside of the oven's temperature is 350. So you got to be consistent there, and consistent on mixing up the dough. And something else that I do is I put the dough in the refrigerator and get it cold. It's not quite so sticky, and it's easier to roll up into little balls and make cookies out of. And also I'm consistent with the size of the cookies, because I use like a 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, and then I take a knife and I level it off so that all the cookies are about the same size, and that way you can get a consistent number out of your batches. So that's it for the cookie part of the show. So Merry Christmas everybody, and have a great New Year if you want to stop here, and if not, we'll go out to the garage and I'll show you what's been going on with some of those projects that we started there. Another little thing that I have going on is it kind of varies, goes up and down, but I do eBay. I sell and buy and sell old toys and model kits and things, and move them on eBay. If you want to get at me, my eBay handle is tonguetied56, TONGUETIED 56, and there it varies up and down, but right now I have some things online. If you're like old model kits and stuff, give me a visit. Up here I have some vintage kits. I don't know if you guys are familiar with old Auroras and old monograms and stuff. This is stuff that when I was maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, my dad would pick these up on a Friday night on his way home from work, and we would watch Hogan's Heroes and Gomer Pyle and 12 O'Clock High and build model cars and model planes and things. And we also did flying models too, so I'm pretty familiar with stick and tissue building and stretching paper and all that kind of stuff. So once in a while I break out a big table and build something stick and tissue, so it's a lot of fun. On to the Chevelle project, wheelie bar installation. Here's what I actually came up with. This is how I'm going to mount the wheelie bars to the chassis underneath the car. And I made these up out of some 5/8 18 bolts, grade 5. Sawed the heads off. Kind of like just sawed the head off, and then got these 3/8 collars and linch pins, and then these tabs right here will weld on to the brackets that hold the ladder bars on. So it's really kind of simple. Then the upper ones, let's just say this this drawing here, all this complicated stuff. Yep, not gonna happen. All these things here, not gonna happen. It's gonna be too simple. That's why I like to take my time and think things through a little bit before I go ahead and do them, because sometimes somebody, or you know, you just like, hey, this is too simple. These will mount on the rear axle housing, and here's the gasket of the rear axle housing, so I can kind of, you know, it's going to be kind of not really in the orientation, but one of these tabs will mount to a bolt hole here, and then I will weld one of these tabs like this. It's probably going to go more like this, and then weld that on, or it could go this way. I'll find out when I get it up underneath the car. So that's kind of the direction I'm going. So we'll do this. And you can see I've got some old rod ends and stuff that I've been using for kind of models and to find out what threads are and how things are going to fit. But we'll do it like this. Then that will go on the rear axle housing. These bolts, probably this side, this one, and this one. And that will hold these on. And what I'm going to do is, from test fitting, these upper bars are way too long, and so I'm going to saw them, and that way I probably will get rid of this damage here, and the saw cut will be on this side, and then you can get the bungs that go into the end of the tubing from, and I'm using S&W race car stuff, and then I can do 3/8 rods ends rather than 1/2 inch, because these side holes here, they're 3/8, not 1/2 inch. So, and that will take at least a few pounds of weight out of the thing. So I'm really not that far from having this done, just holidays and everything. So it's Christmas shopping and getting things set up. Haven't even put the fuel pump back in the car yet, but it's ready to go. All the fittings are here, everything I need. I had to change fitting setup because this is the old pump. You can see the in and out come out the same size. The new pump, it's different. So I had to redo the plumbing, and then the fittings had been well used, and actually they looked a little bit galled, so, and I'm changing everything over to black anyway, so I ordered up brand new fittings, so just continue changing things over. So I really don't have that much more to talk about today. We're just kind of holidays. That's kind of the focus. Trying to go to the gym often and keep that weight down. And I lost 50 pounds over the summer, and about 5 of it's come back on. And I'm going to defeat that. And just giving you a look around the garage. Yeah, I've got the old toys. How many of you have seen one of these? This thing will actually fire a shot. You can buy some wadding and some powder. I don't know if it even exists anymore, but this is actually fires cannon. It's pretty cool. Here's some of my old cars. There's my the one on the right is 37 years old. The one on the left is 35. Isn't that something now? 72 Corvette Roadster, probably the best Corvette I ever bought. This was the first Corvette I ever had, and black, true ray wheels, mirrored tops, headers, 64 Galaxy factory lightweight clone that I built with a 390 FE, ran pretty good. Got some money with that, won some money, and you could throw the kids and the kids' friends in the back seat of that thing and go for a ride. That was a lot of fun car. Sorry I sold that one. There's my oldest son in my 67 435 horse car when he was about a year old. That's pretty amazing. So over here waiting on a rebuild kit for this 750 double pumper. This is 4-corner idle, and I picked this up, and it's all cleaned up and ready to go. I got another interesting carb coming. It's Mopar Holly 650, I think, list number, and it's coming off of I think it's a 68 or 69 Dodge Power Wagon that I'm going to completely rebuild, and the owner wants it really pretty, so that'll be a fun little project. That's coming next week. So thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and thank you very much. Have a great holiday.